Gentlemen, can I please have your attention? And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Welcome to the Hollywood Casino Press Box with your host, Frank Cusumano.
Here's the pitch. Line drive, there it is! Into left field! Hit number 3,000! A run is scored! Musial ran first! On his way to second with a double!
The best interviews and the most informed insight.
And that's McGaffey breaking free, has a seam and a crease. The kicker can't trip him up. Headed for the end zone. Will it be back-to-back weeks? Yes!
All tied together with the experience of over 20 years of local broadcasting excellence in St. Louis.
Now Stasny gets away from a check to Fabry. Wide open. Oh, Brower! Rebound! He scores! Try Brower! The former Blackhawk has given the Blues a 3-2 lead.
Now, here is Frank Cusumano on 590 The Fan, 105.7 HD2 FM, and InsideSTL.com.
Good morning and welcome. Hollywood Casino Press Box on the all-new 590 The Fan. Frank Cusumano with you until 12 o'clock. Got a good one lined up today. The commission is going to join us at 10:30. Dave Matter is going to join us at 11 o'clock. If you'd like to be a part of the program, you can do so. You can do so on the Winning Streak listener line, 855-282-8255, and also on the Lion's Choice text line, that same number, 855-282-8255. We have Rankin Jordan as one of our loyal sponsors. They are the innovative leaders in physical medicine and rehabilitation. In fact, last night, I got a story idea pitched to me via email about a hockey player who is from Colombia, and he is an outstanding hockey player, and he's played his junior hockey in Boston, and he suffered a spinal cord injury. And right now, he is rehabbing in Colombia. And so I called him, and he said he had seen the stories we had done on these two local athletes from CBC and Lindbergh who had gone to Rankin and are making miraculous strides. And so then we called Lori Tanner from Rankin Jordan, the CEO. And I said, Lori, what about helping this young man? She says, have him call me tomorrow. So this family from Colombia is going to call Lori Tanner today. And I bet he's going to be getting his rehabilitation done at Rankin Jordan. It'll be unbelievable. All right, our opening monologue is brought to you by Gateway Motorsports Park. And let's begin with lap one. Although it's a loss, let's have some perspective. Since the trade deadline, they're 9-4. They have the second best record. Actually, the best record of teams who are from this planet. I mean, the Dodgers they're from a different stratosphere. In August, 81 runs in 13 games. That's the most in baseball. Think about this. They were 5.5 games out of first place. They were 2 games under 500. And now they're 4 games over and 1 game out. So that's the good news. The bad news is this. What the Cubs have coming up. They don't play a winning team for 26 days. 26 days of losing teams. Cardinals are at Boston. Then they go to Pittsburgh. Home versus San Diego and Tampa. Then on the road for 10. Milwaukee at San Fran and at San Diego. It's not that the Cardinals' schedule is that brutal. It's more that the Cubs have a very, I guess, conducive schedule in the next month. 26 days without facing a winning team. All right, lap two. One of the stories of the year continues. It's got to be this Paul DeJong who did it again yesterday.
In the air. Left center off the bat of DeJong. At the wall, and it's off the top of the wall and gone. DeJong has done it again.
Yeah, he just continues to impress us every day, offensively, defensively. He's a good player. I mean, he's constantly learning and trying to figure out, what they're going to do next, making great adjustments from at bat to at bat, and he's staying strong. I mean, we've played him a lot, and he keeps showing up ready to go. And so it's a lot on a young player. If they allow it to be, this kid just his mindset. So I'm going to go out and I've got a great opportunity to go play for the St. Louis Cardinals today. And it's just, he's playing a game.
It's actually a pretty good soundbite for Mike Matheny, if they allow it to be. And he doesn't allow it to be. He is so unflappable. I mean, we often go into the Cardinal clubhouse at 3:30, 3:45 on game days. And there's usually only two people by their lockers. Everybody else is scattered. And the two people are Jose Martinez, who's just the nicest guy in the world, and Paul DeJong. And sometimes we almost get tired of talking to Paul DeJong because it's the same thing. I mean, it's, how do you explain this? But he's just, here's what I think. He's not surprised by this at all. He really isn't. 18 homers in the big leagues, 13 in Memphis. He won't win the Rookie of the Year because of Cody Bellinger, but he's way up there in those statistical categories with other rookies. First in batting average, second in slugging, second in OPS, fourth in homers. A rookie shortstop batting third and homering every 13 at-bats. That's seventh in the league. Think about this for a second. He's homering at a higher frequency than Paul Goldschmidt, than Anthony Rizzo, than Nolan Arenado. Anybody think the walk-on from Illinois State would be homering at a higher frequency than those special talents? And I think it was a wise move to have Aledmus Diaz really learn the third base position, because this kid's not giving up the shortstop position, at least not this year. Diaz is hitting 256 this month. How tough must it be for him? And he's really a good guy. He was an all-star last year. Had the most hits on the team when he was sent down. You think it's probably going to be for about a week. No. Yeah, he'll come back and be the shortstop maybe 10 days. No. He may never be the shortstop for the St. Louis Cardinals again. Who knows? He could win a spring training battle, but your replacement is hitting like Cal Ripken. What a scenario. Lap 3. Tommy Pham, another of the stories of 2017. He's having an incredible year on the field. He's also having an incredible year off the field. What he's done for a boy in the area is quite amazing. I want you to listen to this story put together by Josh Helmuth, our new reporter on Channel 5.
Jace Brzezinski is smiling for yet another picture. The 13-year-old Cardinals fan from Carmi, Illinois is at Busch Stadium with his family for a special day they won't ever take for granted. That's because Jace and his family haven't been able to attend many Cardinals games lately. Instead, they've had to spend much of their time here at St. Louis Children's Hospital.
He would vomit, and then he would act normal, and then he would vomit again. So that happened for 2-3 weeks.
It was almost 3 years ago when the little leaguer tested positive for mono, but a CAT scan proved something worse. Medulloblastoma, a rare cancerous brain tumor.
We were kind of speechless.
What did you tell yourself?
That God will always be with me.
Jace had surgery to remove the tumor immediately before undergoing 9 months of chemo and radiation. He missed a year of school. He missed baseball. Of course, the day he got to ring this bell, he knew his comeback would be soon. He was cancer-free.
I was surprised. Mm-hmm. Some days I just didn't feel like I could do anything.
But getting back in the batter's box wouldn't happen in a flash.
You get this diagnosis and you basically have a hard time eating, walking, doing anything, and it takes years to come back to even be able to throw a baseball.
And another side effect of the cancer, a loss of focus. Jace's peripheral vision in his right eye now essentially double.
Sometimes because of where the tumors are located in the brain, it can affect vision, the way the eyes move.
But what Jace doesn't know is that there's a team of support with him today, waiting outside his entire Bulldogs middle school baseball team.
Surprise! Look who's here, Jace.
A surprise from Fredbird. And an even bigger surprise from someone who's had his own vision playing baseball.
Hey Jace, it's Tommy Pham of the St. Louis Cardinals. I heard you were in town and I wanted to invite you to be my special guest for tonight's game. Can't wait to see you. And I'll be looking forward to meeting you at batting practice. See you soon.
Look at that.
That's right. After years of treatment, it was Jace's years of being a Cardinals fan that brought him here for the experience of a lifetime. A batting practice meet and greet with Cardinals outfielder Tommy Pham, who's battled his own degenerative eye condition en route to the big leagues.
You got to have positive spirits.
Yeah.
That's all. I play this game with legally blind eyes. Somehow, miraculously, I fight through it. Believe in yourself. You're going to have so many naysayers, so many doubters, but always believe in yourself.
A picture may be worth 1,000 words, sure. But to Jace, this moment is only a snapshot of what one can truly see if you're willing to fight.
You gonna hit with that one? No.
Really good work by Josh on that story, and it's another example of what kind of person Tommy Pham is. What a year this guy's having. All right, lap 4. The 100th PGA Championship is coming to our town next year. Number 99 played this weekend in North Carolina. A couple of really cool moments. As soon as Justin Thomas walked off the green at 18, after winning, he was greeted by Ricky Fowler and Jordan Spieth, his good buddies. They wanted to congratulate him. They could have jumped on their jets and gotten out of Dodge right away. They wanted to be there for their friend. They are the young guns. Those three party together, they vacation together, and Thomas is the guy who hasn't won up until yesterday. And you knew it was his day on 10. First he got the break on the tee shot. Ball hit the tree, got in the fairway. And then this putt. Listen closely.
Didn't have the pace part.
You're right. It just... He's... Oh, you're joking. Look at that. There's another one dimple. It's gone.
Oh, my God. Yes.
In life, have you ever seen anything like that, John? Yes, I have.
Now, the putt on 10 was funny because obviously it just kind of snuck up on the hole, but Jimmy and I read it going a little left and then a little back right, and it never came back right. And the grain and the slope were kind of going that way, so it was something where once it got there, I felt like it was going to go in, and it just didn't. And kind of acted like a child and threw a little tantrum over there, and then all of a sudden it went in, so I didn't look so dumb. But, yeah, 13 was awesome as well.
13, he chipped in from the fringe. Well, what a moment there on 10. So Thomas, by the way, it did rest on that cup for about 12 seconds. 12 seconds. So he's going to defend his championship next August at Belle Reve Country Club here in St. Louis. And also, you have Jordan Spieth. You see, by not winning, well, he's going to try to win his career Grand Slam in St. Louis next August. What an event that's going to be for St. Louis. I mean, I've heard you could have 40,000 people there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then think about the practice rounds, the Pro-Am. It's going to be unbelievable. I asked Alex, my oldest, because we don't live that far away from Belle Reve. Let's be smart about this. Let's rent the house for a week. So he said we have to take pictures. And you know what he said we should take pictures of the house? The hot tub. That'll be the selling point. And then he says we could also, because, you know, families may want to, we could take pictures of the basketball area in the back where I actually have a three-point line. And, you know, it's all lined up like that. So when we were building this house, Monique, of course, took control, and I was, you know, on the back burner. I had nothing to do with anything. She wouldn't allow it, and I really wasn't that interested anyway. So, in fact, the builder said to me, he goes, you know, I've built over 100 houses, and the only time that you actually ever had anything to do with this house was when you insisted there'd be enough room for a three-point shooting line. So, she made fun of me for that. She goes, that's all you did for this whole house, is you got a 3-point shooting line. I did all the work. And then there was one other part of it, the basement. I put kind of a bigger screen down there to make it look like a little bit like a man cave. And Alex said, the 3 things that we will take pictures of are the hot tub, the basketball court, and then the basement. The 3 things that I'm responsible for. I said, what do you think of that, Monique? She just walked away. All right, lap 5. Monday morning quarterback with a real fascinating take on the Ezekiel Elliott suspension. Not so much the ins and outs of what's going to happen here, but Roger Goodell's job security. That maybe he better be careful. You see, the guys who have given him a great deal of support in the past, we have Mr. Rooney, who's passed away, and you also have Jerry Richardson, who's 81. You have Robert Kraft. You think he's a big supporter of Roger Goodell now? And you have Jerry Jones. And I understand that Jerry Jones is furious about this 6-game suspension. And they've probably known this for a while, but they didn't want to suspend Ezekiel before the Hall of Fame thing because Jones may have said some things. The commish better be careful. You know, he's a big tough guy playing the role of Buford Pusser all the time. He could do that when he had Jones and Kraft and Rooney and Richardson in his back pocket. Doesn't have that anymore. He's losing friends and influence. Love to see the fall of the commissioner. Wouldn't you? Anybody like the commissioner? Anybody think, boy, I really like Roger Goodell? I'd love to see this happen. All right, lap 6. Stream of consciousness. Martin and I did the cystic fibrosis banquet last night at St. Albans Country Club. Great people. And I heard another unbelievable Jack Buck story. The reason, I think, by the way, this is the oldest golf tournament in terms of charity golf tournaments in the St. Louis area. 48 years. And the reason there is a golf tournament is a young man with cystic fibrosis came up into the KMOX radio broadcast booth. And he sat next to Jack while Jack was broadcasting the game. And he told Jack that I would love, or my goal in life is to one day catch a foul ball at Busch Stadium. I've never done that. You guys ever done that, by the way? Have you ever caught a foul ball at Busch? No?
Yes.
You have caught one?
It was, well, no, okay. I think my dad actually got it. We were kind of walking on the concourse and it was bouncing around.
Yeah.
And I think he ended up with it, but it was, 10 years ago probably.
Yeah, not many people can say they've done that. Yeah. So this little boy says this to Jack Buck on the air. And then, about 1 minute later, a foul ball comes into the booth and it rolls right into this young man's hands. And Jack Buck actually had to get up and leave the booth because he was overcome with emotion. Comes back in and says to either the lady from cystic fibrosis or maybe it was his mother, it says, "What can I do to help you? I feel like I need to be involved with you." And she says, "We'll come up with something." And they've had this golf tournament. And last night, they raised tens of thousands of dollars. Jack Buck's, one of Jack Buck's daughters spoke last night too. Lovely lady. So just what he did for charity, unbelievable, really. Also, they have a young person as their spokesperson every year for the Jack Buck tournament. And this young man was from Herculaneum High School. Going to be a senior in high school. And they showed a video of him, what he has to go through. I mean, see, we see him last night, and he's in a real sharp suit, and he looked really good. He's a handsome young man, and he gave a beautiful speech. But they showed this, the video of him, of what he has to do and what he's had to do every day of his life. Basically, I think he was diagnosed when he was 9 months old. But they basically put like a jacket on him, and the jacket like vibrates his body in a kind of almost like a violent way, and he has to go through this all the time, and you could tell it's not comfortable at all, and he's shaking and shaking and shaking. But it was a great idea for the cystic fibrosis people to actually show this video and to let everybody know what this young man has to go through from the time he was born. And he actually plays sports. He's a golfer at Herculaneum High School. But I got to tell you, last week at this time I was telling you about I was concerned about my youngest being able to hit a curveball and doing it at the right time. That's so freaking trivial. It really is. I called Monique and I just said, boy, the only thing that matters is we're blessed to have healthy kids. And if you have a healthy kid, don't worry about anything in their life today. Just thank whoever you want to thank. I'm not going to force my religion on you, but just thank whoever you want to thank for that child's health, because that's all that matters. That's all that matters, especially when you see what this little boy's had to go through. And I do want to say something encouraging about cystic fibrosis. And we talked to some people yesterday about it before the banquet. There's some drugs out there, and they are making great strides. I mean, this is a disease that maybe can be defeated. I remember, like last year at this time, I did a banquet at Norwood Hills for ALS with Tom Watson, the great golfer. And I interviewed Tom Watson. I said, hey, Tom, how about the progress being made with ALS? Because you've raised tens of millions of dollars. And he said, you know what the progress is? Nothing. Nothing has been done. Because we're raising millions. We have all these doctors working on a cure, but there hasn't been one bit of progress done, according to Tom Watson. But last night, we got encouraging news about new drugs out there that could have a real role in improving the quality of life for cystic fibrosis patients. All right, those are some of my thoughts. Let's hear yours. The greatness of Mr. DeJong, the kindness of Mr. Pham, the resurgence of the Cardinals, the Cubs and their great schedule, the commissioner of the NFL in trouble, the commissioner here in St. Louis, Rick Hummel, is going to join us a little bit later in the program. We'll take a short time out. We're coming right back.